And as always, we're just going to kind of look at flow. If everybody has any charts they want me to pull out at all, or any flow they want me to take a peek at, feel free to drop it in the chat. But it's been a lot of multi-leg stuff most of the afternoon here. We just did get some MU puts hitting the tape here about a couple minutes ago. Not really at the ask here, more on the ask side though, but smaller size here. But we'll take a peek at it. And I apologize if I sound a little plugged up. I think I'm starting to get a little sick here, so of course. But multi-leg here, we got 20%, so right away I'm going to say no, but educational purposes, we'll just look at it. Yeah, you're coming in as a block trade here, so you're not getting really good view on it. Yeah, no, I don't know if it's just sick or if it's allergies or weather's, but it's raining here today, and I don't know. It's one side of my nose just starts running just randomly every maybe like hour, and I'm just like, what the? I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm guessing. I mean, I don't feel sick or anything. It's just as long as I don't get that stupid annoying cough again, I'll be happy. Because that was like a 2-month cough that literally sucked, especially for the live streams. But yeah, a lot of multi-leg stuff this afternoon, and just kind of a lot of chasing puts here. I mean, like these I1 Qs. I mean, you're already down 11% on the day, 34% multi-leg out of the money, 17%, 15 days out. Probably not going to chase something that's down 12%. I know I said that on a couple things yesterday, and obviously you get the big move down today, but it's just a risk thing there. That's why some of it's going in the developing flow, just where the flow's there if you really, really like it, but it's not an actual alert. Our market tide, pretty easy to kind of read this one here. A lot of bearish flow here, and then just the little J&J kind of call there. I mean, clearly bearish here. I mean, and this morning here too, I mean, you just see how flat it is, and price kind of followed it this morning, so you didn't really get that signal like we always do here. You could have maybe took a signal here when we crossed up here, but again, usually I like the market tide when it kind of sticks out a little bit more, where you're seeing that divergence in price and the premiums there. But this one you didn't really get that today. ETF, obviously a lot of SPY puts here. Probably not going to chase those ones we got in a little bit earlier, the 655s. Pretty interesting there. I mean, massive move there, and I even posted those a little bit late there too. I mean, there was about 477 when I posted them, so I mean, would have been a good chase on those. The HL puts made a good move here today, a little 50% move on those. Those SPY puts from yesterday, I'm really curious to see how this open interest changes tomorrow. Obviously, you had that 2,500 yesterday, and then you had 2,500 again today, down at 12 cents from that 129. I'm guessing they probably cut those there. Obviously, I mean, that's kind of a big chunk there, but I mean, if you're sitting at 12 cents from that 129 there, I mean, you might as well just kind of just let them sit there at that point. But curious to see what happens there, because I mean, they did come back up and go positive. That's the one thing sometimes where you don't know until tomorrow with that open interest change. But my guess is they probably cut those there for most of their loss there. What else do we have? The RKLB puts from yesterday. I mean, massive move. You had that little, obviously, gap up today, and then they ran. Medicals, those, you got a gap up on those, so I would have had a stop on for sure on those from that 10 and hit that 1332 there. And that would have, I mean, you would have had enough time to get out of something like that for sure. Intel puts, I think the original entry was set, what did I have it marked here as? I think 78. Yeah, about half of that volume kind of carried over. So my guess is this guy passed contracts off around here, and then obviously some more volume today, but whoever's still holding obviously got a good run today on those. The PDD calls, these ones, this poor whale here, I mean, still a lot of time on these, but I'm not going to let something drop this much. I'm just kind of looking at that raw flow again there too. When you look at it, you see that big spike there in the IV, and then you're coming at the ask. So it reads as a buy. We'll just have to see what happens. This did come in the day after earnings as well too, but a lot of time on those still too. A lot can happen in 57 days. So like now, kind of what I tell people is if you're looking for discounted entries, you pull up the chart, and we can pull up the chart on it too and just see. Like on that longer term flow stuff, I kind of like to let it sit for maybe a day or two and then match it up with the chart, just to kind of see how it moves there. We were just talking about this yesterday too, the ANXs. I don't remember if we were talking about calls or what on it. Let me just clean up some of these here. And HUT for people that, because I did point out, I did like that longer dated contract here. So I mean, if you would have, let me just pull it up here 1 second. Let me go to my flowing charts. Yeah, I preferred more time on those ones. So I mean, you can go back and obviously look at it, but you would have got, I mean, you could have had a chance to get a couple entries in there. I mean, you popped up and then you hit that 200-day moving average today. So you hit, I'm trying to see where my zone was. Let's see, I'm just kind of looking at it here. 1219 demand zone. So okay, that would have been our risk there at the demand zone. But I mean, you would have had enough time to play that up there and then up to that 200 there. That big gap up today was really nice there. I'm kind of looking at the weekly ones there, and this SPY. Okay, I'm just kind of going through some of the stuff from this week. This guy actually exited that same day, so the 18th here. See all that volume, only 3,600 carried over. Again, they missed a nice move here, but you would have been kind of hurt there at open. So okay, we'll look at PDD before I move on there. I always kind of trend all over the place there. So like PDD, like if you're looking at long term, like if you really like that setup on the 57 days and you're like, okay, well, I really like that setup. I am now, you know, that whale's still in. They're down a good amount there. You still have about 2 months on those. So what I like to do, come over here, I'm just gonna quickly see, okay, well, we're sitting, well, we did break that uptrend there on the weekly. It's sitting on it, up, broke it. You're very close to it. It's something that would catch my eye there. So you're sitting near that uptrend here, slightly, maybe slightly below it there just a little bit, and just trying to pop this over. I hate this thing how it always shuts off the share screen on the Discord. I like to just make sure it's still on. So you're sitting at the uptrend there. Let me do my rectangle here. So I know we are also approaching demand zone here. So obviously, let me clean it up just a teeny bit here. So obviously, I mean, you bounced here the one time, you failed, came close, failed, failed. We bounced 1, 2, dropped there, 3, 4. I mean, you've bounced out of this zone majority out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So kind of combining that, knowing that your large whale is still in these and you are in that demand zone near that uptrend there. And how's that volume on the week? That weekly volume is going to be up. We got to switch this over to the daily and see. It's going to be that post earnings day probably. So this, and obviously you have that gap upside to the upside there. So the good thing about this is you can see the last 2 days, volume has kind of decreased there on the sell-off, so that is a good sign. Obviously, your volume on earnings is massive there, so but you got 2 gaps to the upside here from this 124.02 to about 128.92, and then 132.50 to 133.91 there. So you're sitting in that zone, and let's take a peek at it on the daily and just kind of see how it looks there too. So again, you can see you bounced out of there, you bounce there, you bounce there, you bounce there, failed, bounced, failed. Then you've got these little, it's kind of consolidating looking to me there, because you're getting small little bounces out of it, but that's all you really need if you're in options. And then you failed there, and we broke below that trend line there. So obviously, just kind of coming back and looking at that trend line there, we are hitting the bottom of these candles here, and you are breaking slightly below that trend line here before you get that kind of aggressive move up. So it's historically looking the same here, where you're breaking below that trend line. RSI is obviously cooked right now, and could maybe see it regain up here. So like now what I would do, like if you're tailing this whale now, and you know, again, they're still in with plenty of time, I could maybe open a position in this demand zone here. So either I would have 2 risk zones on something like this. Either I'd probably play it on the weekly though. So I would do a weekly close below this demand zone here at like 109.93-ish. Or if we break above that uptrend and then fail and reject down, that could be another kind of risk tolerance spot there. But yeah, like this, I like this setup right here, how we're looking right here. And that's the one thing with that longer term flow. Usually you will get a discounted entry in like the PDDs here. That is a very nice discounted entry. Let's kind of look at some of our internals here. Obviously a lot of put premium here today. You did get that spike in that net call premium yesterday, but kind of sold off a little bit. How's our 30-day look? So everything lower is technically filled there. Your higher one here would have to still get filled there. So again, to get that fill up here, you'd have to come back up to that 127. So about a $12 run, which would get you, let's see, 125-ish. So it'll get you about halfway up through that first gap there. And I do want to look at some other internals. I actually kind of like this setup. So I mean, you can see we're pretty overextended to the downside here as well. So let me just see what we got today. Nothing major here, just all bid side stuff there. Open interest, a lot of short-term stuff there. And let's look at our gamma, see how we're looking there. So gamma, on the other hand, does kind of show maybe a little more downside because you're getting that negative gamma there. And it looks like all our upper levels have been hit there. So gamma can take a while to, again, catch up and hit those levels. That's the one thing. Just kind of looking at it here. So like, you're seeing a lot, and it seems like price tends to kind of follow gamma a little bit more here. Obviously, you're really extended here. I mean, it takes a little, I mean, you can just see those sharp drops to hit those gamma levels there, and then we're just kind of slowly grinding up here, and it looks like, I mean, you're just kind of slowly following that gamma levels up here, versus where you're really down here, really lighter gamma there, and then you just see our drop there, and again, that's earnings driven as well. But let's pop back here. So that was the PDD. Obviously, we looked at the SPY puts. SPT, I wonder, how are these? These things are just flat. These things have actually held up pretty well against the sell-off. I mean, 98 was the entry. They're trading at 90 right now. I mean, you're not even down 10% on those with a lot of time on those. Those have held up pretty well. Pretty well on those. The HUT, so again, if you from the original entry there, we would have got a good entry. These actually were in the money today, so they had a high of 205 today, so they probably more than likely would have exercised them, and you wouldn't know that until tomorrow, and we don't know either way if they exercised them or not till, again, tomorrow. SPY puts again. These got this one again out that same day. Out there, you can see that 1117, only 5,000 carrying over out of 48,000. QBTS. These ones actually came back again today. So you're just kind of chopping it along here, 115, 115. That gap up today helped. We had a high, actually that was yesterday. Sorry, gap high of 138 yesterday. But it looks like that whale's still in, and again, still 22 days on those, 3 weeks left on those. HIMS, these ones, so 150 there, and almost came back to break even yesterday. Whales, this one would be interesting to see how much of this carries it over tomorrow, that open interest change on those, because it could be getting out here at the ask at 9 at 56. Have to double check that one. From last Friday, that thing 370, I mean those printed through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday there. Verizon, this whale might be getting out today. It looks like 34. So what do we got here? 11,000. 11,000 might be getting out at 23. Have to double check that one tomorrow. See what else we got coming in here. One big block trade here, so 30-40. Again, this one's right almost in the middle there for your spot fill. Down 6% on the day, 5% out of the money, 239 days. Probably not going to chase that. And you got it as a block trade, so you just don't get that flow around it to see how it's interacting with it. Let's see, ETF flow. Yeah, just more SPY puts in. You're starting not to really come in at the ask either, so it's kind of something that's interesting. We haven't had a lot of SPY flow or any much more ETF flow since this morning. I mean, we cut off about noon pretty much. I mean, you had the two other ones and some 8-day out calls. I mean, you're pretty flat there and sitting high multi-leg on that. Yeah, your tide. Hey, you're all bearish on the tide now. Ooh, what a day. Does anybody have any contracts or anything they want me to take a peek at? Iron flow, got it. So we'll look at what hit the tape today. So I have, and then we can do Tesla. Yes, keep throwing them in the chat. We'll be going till 3. Bitcoin. Okay, Bruno, we'll do Bitcoin for you. So the only opening iron flow that hit my feed here, obviously that's a really bad fill there on the bid-ask spread, but we'll take a peek at it for educational. So you can see how messy it is. So it's 7,700 contracts there, 8,500 there, 51% multi-leg. So this one is a really messy piece of flow, but we'll take a peek at them. So IV spikes when those come in. And it looks like towards the end here you got that IV decreasing then. Then you have that IV increase here again. And then again your fill, you're right in the middle here, so it makes it tough to kind of get that side that whale's actually looking at. And then you got some more here where it decreases from that upper one, and it's decreasing here, 140, 164 to those. These almost look like put sells. Then we have the bid side candle here, so let's see. And this is your multi-leg part right here, it looks like. So let's see, what is it telling us? It's a put credit spread. it's looking, yeah. So I think that original one, so the second bid side candle is your multi-leg one. That first one is not your multi-leg, and those look like put sells, and that was a put credit spread, I said. And otherwise, yeah, you can just see how it was kind of multi-leggy here. So there's that multi-leg again there. And then just kind of looking at the internals for you. Obviously, a lot of net call premium today. I want to back this out a couple of weeks. So spike, spike, spike. You hit all your lower ones there. You do have some uppers there that you got to hit still. Your highest volume contracts on the day. So you got some 8-day out ones here that are interesting in the 11/28/50 call. These just kind of came in about 40 minutes ago or so. So let's take a peek at these. Oh, it's a big multi-leg. It's a goofy multi-leg one. What's it going to tell us it is? It's not even going to pop it in for us. Let's pop it in the calculator and get a take a peek. So limited loss, unlimited gain. So this they can benefit. To me, this one, so they're looking for volatility essentially because they're going to profit if it goes up or profit if it goes down. God, I hate spreads so much. If you can't tell. Let's go back here. I need to, let's see. Okay, so we're looking at the highest volume contracts. So everything else kind of mixed here, gamma-wise. Yeah, you've hit all your upper levels, it looks like here. Upper, yeah. So again, you can see how it's kind of decreasing there, so there's less liquidity essentially getting put into it there. So that's telling me you could probably see a pullback here at some point. Hit those levels. I've already started kind of coming down there a little bit. And then let's do the chart for you too. I gotta get in the habit of doing the charts after request too. Just so used to doing flow. Okay, so let's clean this up. Kind of an easy chart here. Obviously you're now sitting in your let's tighten that up. That's an ugly drawing there. So I'd put you in kind of a demand support zone here. Obviously you bounced out of here, bounced out of there, looking to hopefully bounce out of there. And the daily candles here are really, really alarming here. So that 20-day one here, obviously we came up here, we rejected that. So the last 2 days we had good gains and they were all taken away. So that is kind of one thing that might concern me, and obviously volume coming up a little bit there as well too on those days as well. And oh man, I need a nap. Just kind of drawing a little trend here. Yeah, you're not going to get a good trend line here, so could maybe kind of draw a little trend there. Not the best trend line, so we're not going to do a trend line. Yeah, I'd probably just put that as a basic support demand zone there, but you got to get over that 20. Your 100-day moving average is sitting right here at 41.02. I almost could see this with a little more downside. Maybe if you hit that 100-day one there, see some of that volume lighten up that out, but that more volume candle today kind of concerns me, especially with that 54, almost a $10 drop from the high, and we're continuing down. So that's IREN for you. Let's do Tesla here. Tesla. One of my least favorite names to trade because it's so volatile and doesn't care about technicals, doesn't care about fundamentals. It just does its own thing. So let me pop this up. So let's see what we're getting here. Tesla. Premium. So 407 out of the monies. There's just so much volume on Tesla where gets hard to find opening trades. So looks like that's a put roll there again, deeper in the money though. Getting a lot of deep in the money stuff with Tesla. So just quickly glancing at my flow feed here. Bid side puts about half hour ago or so. Let's see, multi-leg bid puts. If we look at the highest volume contracts, it's going to be all weeklies too. Yeah, Tesla, I'm not seeing really anything interesting to me. I don't think anything hit my feed today for opening flow. Just the multi-leg one here. Let's see. So that one's just kind of expecting it to maybe chop a little bit here essentially, because that they want it to stay within this 1%-ish up to 5%-ish range here, or down 2% there. So you're getting, so they're looking for kind of just not a lot of movement there. Let me come in here and I gotta close this out because that ding gets so annoying sometimes. So premium wise, Tesla, obviously you have that big spike here, big spike here. You would have to essentially fill those gaps here at some point here, and that would have to bring us back up to roughly 445-ish, give or take a couple bucks there. Yeah, otherwise, I mean, all your lower gaps essentially are filled there, so not seeing more downside in the premiums here. And yeah, our highest volume contracts obviously all weeklies here. Gamma wise, yeah, maybe a little more downside there to get to that. Otherwise, it looks like all of our upper levels have been hit. And let's take a peek at the chart here. And I'm going to grab a drink too as well once I get this chart up, because I'm pretty sure I already have it mostly charted out here. So yeah, Tesla, obviously, here's your daily. Daily, we're just kind of consolidating within this channel. It looks like we're right in the middle here, right on that 100-day and 20-day there. So my guess is that whale that was looking for it to kind of chop, probably chop around that 20 and that 100-day there. Otherwise, RSI is pretty neutral there as well. How do we look on the daily with it? Or not the daily, the weekly, sorry. So weekly, yeah, I mean, you can see the rejections there. I want to see that volume on the daily here as well too. Yeah, your volume is just kind of, I mean, this is just a really consolidation in there, and you're just not, it needs a catalyst to kind of move, and looking like we're just going to probably chop between that 20-day and that 100-day moving average there, but a little elevated volume today, but lighter volume yesterday. Then you got elevated volume near that 100-day moving average. Then you got your elevated volume today, obviously, by the 20-day. So tell me, you might see some chop there on that one. I'm going to grab a drink here quick, and then I will do NBIS for you, Lilu. So NBIS, let's take a peek here. I don't know if I had anything on my... Oh, we do have an opener. Oh, so the 11/28/94 put, those came in right at open. So this thing, yeah, absolute print job on that thing. So call premiums are still holding up there as well too. That is interesting to me. What else do we got for it? Let's take a peek. So looking like a lot of multi-leg again. See a lot of multi-legs here. So your bid side puts coming in here at noon. My guess is probably could be, oh, they're in the money. Could be taking some profits. Perfect. We'll do glue for you next. Bread after Bitcoin. Okay, so it does spike. Yeah, and once it's in the money, sometimes too, it gets a little tough to know what they're doing. 4% of the money is not too deep in the money, but obviously in the money, your IV is going to be different than something that's out of the money. So I typically will ignore in the money stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of bid side, ask side calls here. Obviously, those were some ask side puts there from earlier. I think those were the ones that we looked at here. Closed out of that, yeah. So those were the ones that made that move. Yeah, I mean, your call premiums have pretty much held up for the most part, so that is interesting to me there. Pretty interesting to me, and yeah, your big lower drop there did eventually hit, so you would have one more big up one there as well as yesterday's. Let's see. 100 calls, that's messy. Yeah, nothing, everything's just pretty much 50% there, so you're not going to get a good read on that. Let's see gamma on it. Yes, just keep popping them in the chat. We'll go till 3. So let's see. So yeah, it looks like all your gamma levels are hit. You're pretty close here as well too. And then let's do our chart on it. Chart-wise, yeah, okay. So you are, again, just quick little support here, obviously. You're sitting right on support, kind of an easy one to see here. Support of there. You got support here, we bounced there. Support, we started to bounce, and now we're right back to it again. Volume-wise, though, obviously a little heavier volume up here, and that was, again, after earnings, but did break that 100-day again there today. We're below it right now. So, I mean, this would be my support spot here for that level, that 86.06-ish. Would probably look for a bounce off that, or hopefully a reclaim and move back up to that. And these are just some nasty candles, too. I mean, we were at 103 today, and now you're trading at 85.95. That is a massive intraday swing there. Massive intraday swing there. So, okay, let's do Bitcoin for Bruno here. This thing is getting clobbered here. But you are now coming into, it looks like it wants to test that kind of 77 to 87-ish zone here. Okay, master flow list, shut up. So let me extend this out a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, this is your big spot that we're about to retest here. I mean, you broke that uptrend there. If we break below this, though, I mean, you have got, and zones are a little bit bigger on Bitcoin. I'm not the biggest fan of charting Bitcoin just because it's so goofy sometimes. So let's do it on the weekly and take a peek. Weekly might look a little bit better. So weekly, yeah, I mean, this is your spot you're looking once you kind of get under here, and looks like you want to break that 200-day, and you're getting elevated volume as well too. So that's kind of telling me we're gonna probably get at least down to that zone here. But you've bounced out of it here, slowly started to bounce, and then you bounce there, and now you're retesting it. So we're getting close, and obviously you got your volume picking up there as well too. So that's kind of your big key to watch there on Bitcoin. So let's do Google, or Goog, sorry, and I'm just so used to saying Google. Yeah, Bitcoin's an interesting one. That one, I mean, you don't have any financials backing it where you can, it's now you get earnings reports with it where you can actually kind of see how it's doing. Let's see, no, this one. Alright, let's do, okay, Google. I'll also check Google for you too, just to see what we got. So a lot of deep in the money calls here. I can do that for you too there after. We'll do we'll finish up with Google, Avgo, IONQ there. So, okay, yeah, a lot of deep in the money stuff for Goog here. This one's not too far. And this one's not in the money. Good premium here, just a lot of size on it. Yeah, your premiums are sitting bid side there, so it's telling me not seeing a lot of aggression there. And again, this one's holding up pretty well against the sell-off too. Could see a move down to kind of hit that net premium gap there. Let's look at it 14 days back. Yeah, you could see it hit that lower gap. You might get your wish. You might get your wish. So a lot of volume on that one. A lot of hits on that 290 call. So again, not far in the money. You're not too far out of the money. I mean, you're pretty much at the money here. More 295s here. So somebody likes those 295s. This is going to be, so roughly 2,000 contracts there. You got 900 there. So they could be getting out there. That's a tough one. A lot of volume the last couple sessions here too. We'll do 7 here. So you're getting a lot of volume. You don't know who's in what and all that. So it almost looks like whale from yesterday, 2,000 contracts maybe sold here about 15:51, and then don't know what's going on there. Have to see that open interest tomorrow. That's an interesting one there. And let's take a peek here. So mostly all obviously expiring tomorrow. Nothing major. The bid side put here 57 days out. It's kind of interesting here. Let's take a peek at these. So 5% of the money, still fair game, I'd say. So these look like sells here because you can see that IV. Once we get up here, you start dropping here. So 16.40, you see that spot price dropping as well there. And then 29. Oh, so then it spikes there again. That's all over. And when it bounces like that, I typically would like to lean and say it's a sell, but you do have that spike at the end, and that's on most of your size and premium there too. And I mean, you just see how it's kind of decreasing and then it comes up. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense to see them being buys at the bid, because look at that move up now today. And again, once you get in the money too, it does kind of fluctuate that IV a little bit more. But let me take a peek at the gamma for you here. Yeah, all your upper levels look like they've mostly been hit there. Let's do the chart for you. And this one, obviously, you're trading near all-time highs. But I'm gonna drop this down a little bit. So it's kind of looking at that trend. Get that one out there. Actually, we're going to go back to the daily and work down. Okay, you can't get a clean trend line on this one unless we come back. And that's going to be, yeah, you're not going to get a really super clean trend line on this one because either you would have broken out of that upside channel there. So if I draw my trend line here how I'd like to draw it, you're going to see it's not going to be very clean here. Yeah, you're not going to get a good clean channel on that one without being too far extended there. It almost looked like, pop this on the 4 hour here. Yeah, you're just kind of in no man's land right now. For Google, and obviously Google's going to be the same essentially there. Do have little gap here to fill 277 to 279 there. But just kind of, if you're looking for maybe a quick scalp here, let me get rid of this. And if you're looking for like a quick scalp, so just coming back to, I mean, if you're looking upside quick scalp here, I mean, maybe on the 2 hour chart, just draw a quick little trend there, see if you can maybe get a quick little technical bounce off there. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, you're just kind of sitting in no man's land there. When you're at that all-time high, sometimes the charting gets a little you can't be as technical with it. So, okay, let's do Avgo now. And I wonder if, I don't think I have any openers on that today. Nope, so let's head over here. So big ask side put there, let's say 345, you're not in the money. So that's a big one. And then you got a bid side call here. And these were just about 20 minutes ago or so. Come on. So we got 200 there, 100, 184. Could be the same whale here. Could be that same whale. Hard to know. I have to check that open interest. And that's the issue with kind of that smaller volume. A lot of bid side calls. A lot of bid side calls. Ask side puts from earlier, 380. So kind of deeper in the money. Premium here, bid side, 360. So again, yeah, you're just not seeing a ton of anything that's opening flow. I mean, this is just, you can't track something like that. Bid side puts. Bid side call. Yeah, I probably gonna lean that flow feed's a little more mixed. So, and let's see your upper levels here of net call premium all filled there. You're pretty much kind of in line essentially there with it dropping. Gamma wise, how are we looking here? Could see a little more downside on that to kind of come back to those levels. I don't think it looks like our further out levels have all been hit. And let's take a peek here. So your highest volume, yeah, it's going to be all 0 days. Looks like everything's kind of 50-50 here on the long term. Obviously your 310 call, bid side call there, so your 10% and the money on those. A lot of volume. So a lot of that came in on the 10th. That's interesting. Nope, I gotta go back. Whoops. So yeah, there's your big whale there, and it's no side, so you don't get a good, you can't read that no side flow. 65. Well, if they were actually bullish on it, then so 51.76, so they would be up if they were actually bullish on it. Let's see if we can see anything on the nose, and it's a multi-leg cross trade, so a complete garbage bin there of just kind of nothing. Then let's take a peek at the chart here. Yeah, another one that's just kind of, let's change this up a little bit. Yeah, you're just kind of, and you, again, you can't really get a clean trend line on here. It almost looks like you want to kind of form a head and shoulders here. Let me get my brush going here. So I mean, here would be shoulder one, or shoulder two, and then your head here. So you look for maybe, obviously, probably look better on the different time frame here. So 1 second. And of course it doesn't, because you got that little bounce there. But I mean, you got your little shoulder there, small shoulder there. You got your head there. Probably look for maybe, I mean, your neckline would essentially be, I can't do it on the 2 hour here. Let's do a 4 hour. I mean, you would be looking for support, obviously, in this area, this 339.90 area. I mean, break that, you're going down, and you got that gap here to fill too, down to 307. So that would be an interesting one. And then kind of looking at the data on it, that gamma there. I mean, kind of supported more of a downside move there, kind of get you to that 280-ish area, and would that get us right to that gap fill? And get us about 20 bucks from it. I have to see what happens with that one. That's an interesting one. You just don't have any flow or anything to really support it. Let's see what else we got. So a lot of net call premium here on the 1218, and then you got a lot of net put premium here as well too. Yeah, it's kind of split on something like that. So okay, let's do IONQ now here, and that might be our last one for the day. And I know we did have a lot of opening flow on that one today, obviously. 4 cents, wow. For a low, obviously. Oh, that must be wrong. Oh, that's your bid. I don't know what I was looking at there. Okay, so really goofy bid asks there. So it looks like they filled at 40, hit 70 there. So those would be green, obviously. Get another one. Kind of came in, dipped a little bit, came back up 58. So it looks like a lot of your puts are still in here for the most part. And you are getting crushed today. I'd like to see some of these people take some profits, because I mean, you are getting crushed today, so you should be taking some profits. So we don't need to look at the overall list, because we had some good openers. Yeah, I mean, that's just massive spike in put premium there. Massive spike in that put premium. Then gamma wise, let's take a peek. Yeah, pretty much in line with your levels here. Obviously a little downside to kind of go there, but being down 14% on the day, you're probably not chasing that. Let's see, IONQ. I just want to check the market here too. So we're still trading near the low of the day. Yeah, look, that is some heavy volume today. Heavy volume. So IO and Q. I had a trend line drawn here. Let's pop this out to the daily. We broke that trend line obviously there. Came back up, tested it, and then didn't hold it that long, and massive red candle here. I mean, you're trading near the low of the day, but if you're looking to be bullish here, probably, I mean, I'd like to see it drop a little bit more, maybe get into that more of a safer zone here, where at least you've seen some bounces out of it. But I mean, and you can just see that volume pattern on those green days there, how you're just kind of declining, and then here's your massive drop there too. RSI is getting a little oversold there though. Yeah, so that's I1Q for you. Let's hang out here for a couple more minutes. I just want to see what kind of hit that feed here. Close out the chart here. So we had some stuff hit the feed. I'm just going to kind of speed through it here just so we can kind of see it maybe if the computer wants to load. So let's see, Oracle puts 395. Okay, definitely an opener. We'll take a peek. Down kind of big on the day, 34% out of the money. Kind of far out of the money. Oh, that's the first trade on this chain all day, so we don't really get a clean read here. So 30 contracts. Probably, again, when you're down 6% on the day, do you want to chase? Probably not. So no on those UAL. These probably, guessing it's a block trade here, coming in a penny below the ask. Definitely an opener though. Not down too much on the day. Seeing some net call premium though. So let's take a peek. Okay, not much there. So block trade, you're not getting any info out of that, so that's a pass on that one. Multi-leg coin. So probably another block trade on Upstart here. Again, down almost a little over 4.5. So this one, your timing is all within about 20 seconds. So screen time, I will assume this is probably the same trader here. So you can see where that block trade came in here. Your IV did spike. IV's going up. Now it's dropping here. Continuing to drop here. IV's dropping there as well. These look like put sells here to me, so I would probably lean with these being put sells. You're 16% out of the money. Some time on those, obviously. So that's kind of where that ask side can skew that net premium there. Obviously, that net premium is showing up because it's a lot of ask side flow here. Well, and this is, let's see, so we're only trading about 0.44 times the 30-day volume, so that's 3% of your total volume. So this one's probably not the best, it's only 3%, but when you see stuff like that, the ask side puts, even though it reads as a sell in here, can make that net put premium spike there. So I think these look like put sells there. Let's see what else we got. CoreWeave, 92 days out. Again, kind of a mid-fill here. You're down a lot. Something big happened in the puts there. So let's see, 94.83. IV's just kind of bouncing around. 94.83. Yeah, your IV's just bouncing around, and then well, you get a big spike here on some premium and volume here, so that these could be buys, but you're 14% out of the money. You're down a lot on the day. Again, probably not going to chase there. You do have some previous open interest. I just want to look at that and see how it looks. And it looks like most of that just kind of started kind of coming in, so it's nothing major sticking out there. Rocket Lab, this is getting killed today. I wouldn't chase a drop down this much, 14% out of the money. So if you're going to chase a drop like this, I just wait for that next day or find a good spot on the chart for maybe a relief bounce. So your IV just kind of staying up, filling in at the ask. Obviously it's your first trade on that chain, so you're not getting a good full read of it. AMAT, again, everything's kind of, I mean, everything's pretty much down today, so you're seeing a lot of puts in that IV does get skewed because everybody's thinking that we're going to continue down, so people want those puts, and that contract, fundamentally, the more pressure there is on those contracts, the more people are expecting, obviously, volatility, so that gets a little skewed there. And these actually do look like put sells, because here's your IV decreasing here. Or decrease it, hold on, 47, 30, okay, so it decreases, then it comes up again here. And it's not the same timing, so again, you can't confirm if it's the same person, and again, you can't always confirm if this is the same person just because it's the same exact time, but again, educated guess and just a lot of screen time. That timings, again, are very, very similar here, so probably the same person. This one up to here, so that 1455. Everything else is just kind of off a little. Well, these two are kind of together here, 40. So this one, it's, if I had to guess, it's probably all related. But your IV is just kind of all over the place here. My guess is they're probably put sells again too. And let's look at HUT here. I'm just doing the speedy 10-minute power hour flow here. 17% out, again, down 10%. Do you want to chase that? Probably not. This one, 1960. Let's keep taking. Let's see if we got any more from the beginning. So no, nothing really interesting there. Some calls. Okay, let's take a peek at these because that's a big size here. So this will be the last one we'll look at on the day. So 47% out of the money, pretty far for 8 days out. But when you look at it here, obviously your IV spikes and it stays up that entire time. So I would read these as a buy. Now, I personally don't like them because you're 47% out of the money, 8 days out, and it's a short week next week. So Theta is going to be a little more aggressive on something like that. But, all right, looks like we wrapped up Power Hour. Good. I just want to see where we finished here. Yeah, we finished near the low of the day. Oof. That is a massive intraday swing there. 675 and oof. Almost a $25 swing there on the day. That is a massive swing, but everybody, thanks for hanging out. Have a great rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll do another one of these tomorrow. All right, talk to everybody.